Welcome back to Naval Action and episode 56 of A Letter to the King. If you're new to the series, I normally keep us up to date with what's going on PvP-wise on the Euro PvP1 server and soon to be the global server. However, with the Grand White coming and the testbed opening just recently, very little's going on. The Dutch are being smashed back to a single port by the Spanish, who are fighting nobody because there's no Dutch. The Dutch had a little go at Caracas, even though there wasn't any Dutch, and therefore nothing happened. And some other stuff maybe happened around here. But I have to say, I didn't really take a great deal of notice, because with the Great White coming, I've been focusing on what's on the testbed. You can access the testbed. There's some instructions in the forum. I'll put a link to it. You have to enter a code onto your Steam account. And then you have to download essentially a patch or a different version of the game. And then you can go on the testbed and have a play with... it's a bit rough, I have to say, but in theory it's what comes with the Great Wipe. So I thought today I would just show you some of the game as it stands on the testbed. There's a whole bunch of things changed, so I'm just going to go through the highlights really and give you a bit of an update on that. So first of all, there is Sharia law is being implemented on Naval Action. It's not the good type of Sharia law, you know, the good type of Sharia law where if your missus annoys you, you can just beat her up and everyone's happy with it. No, it's not that type of good Sharia law. It's bad Sharia law, where basically you're not going to be able to teleport your ships around. You can't exit to a friendly port, or this is what the mods are saying. This actually isn't in the patch that's on the testbed right now. And there is even talk about not being able to teleport to capital, and even talk about not being able to teleport between cities, just to force people onto the open world. Now, what you'll see different instantly in the game is that if we go into missions, there's no PvP missions, there's no hostility missions. You have to generate hostility by either killing fleets or players in the waters where you want to raise hostility. You can do combat orders, which is just against a single ship. I wouldn't do this on the testbed right now because both of these missions are balked and you get trapped in the exit screen. The fleet mission is a similar type of thing, but it's not a hostility mission. It's just a way of earning gold, potentially, and PvP marks. You can do delivery orders, of course. And this is how I've been making my money. I've made lots of money just tootling around, quite often with things like cocoa and black ironwood, which is a good money maker, and coffee. And Madagascan jewels have all been so coffee's a good one. Now, and so there's no lobby action anymore. All the lobby action has gone. So what they've added to the game essentially is you've got a lot of open world travel to be done. You can see this is a reset map. The Spanish pretty much own everything. Classic early doors reset map. Now, what you can do to earn... So let's just go through a few things. So first of all of our ships are now 1 durability. There's no such thing as durabilities anymore. That's the first thing you need to know. When you get into a battle, you'll actually see that your ships have an extra health bar, and that health bar represents ship's integrity. If that central health bar disappears, so you remember you've got the 2 health bars normally for your starboard and port armor and health, you now have one in the middle. If that gets destroyed, you sink. Another huge difference is that you can now have as many ships as you want at a port, but you can actually, to begin with, you can only have 5 port slots. Across all your ports, you only have 5 ship slots. Now, what you can do is you can expand your docks, and it will buy you another 3, and the first one's about 250,000 gold. The second one is 750,000 gold. That gets you to 11. The third one, 2.2 million gold, which I've not saved up for yet because I'm still trying to buy a ship. The other thing is fleeting is very different. So I can send these ships here to my fleet. Let's just do that. So we send ships to the fleet. Now, if I go to equipment, sorry, if I go to fleet, you can see I can actually now put stuff into my fleet's hold. Which means if I, in this case here, I've got 3 Lagros Ventures in my fleet, I can sail around, or I can put it into the ship's hold itself, which is different. It's a bit weird, actually, the way it works. You can sail around with, in this particular case, 3720 times 3, about 1,200 tons or units of cargo capability. So that's pretty cool if you're a trader. As you sail a ship, you gain ship knowledge in it. Now, in a trader, you inherently have the ship knowledge. You don't need to learn it again, and you can apply these perks. So these are the only ones in there. Powder monkeys, 7% magazine access, 6% speed turner, speed, general speed, stay sails, studding sails, boarding parties, marines, melee, training, pumps and survival. At the moment, this is all you can do. Now, if you're a trader, you get this for free. However, let me just move these back to docks, because otherwise I can't show you. If you're in a warship, you have to learn those. Now, this is, I've been only really trading since this new patch came in, because I'm trying to learn how to make money. So that when we get started proper, I've got a bit of a skinny. Now, if we grab my Connie, which I've barely used, what you'll see is that the Connie, I haven't got any ship knowledge yet on the Constitution, so I can have none of those perks. Now, there's 3 permanent upgrades, and you can either craft something for those, not as much as you used to, or you can go to the shop, and if we go to modules, I can say get a bow figure. Now, to get a bow figure, I would need 25 conquest marks, or in this case 25 PvE marks. And these things, so the whale would give me water pumping of 5%, the phoenix gives me a increased fire rate of 10%, so it's like super sexy magazine access. The lion gives me cannon reload time. The Catherine is a armor bump on both your front and back armor. The Gazelle is speed and turning speed, so a good one there for a surprise or something. And the Elephant is all sides base HP up. And of course you can also build things. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to how do you earn these things. So this is the new stuff with the ships. Now, you're not going to be able to tow your ships around. You're going to have to progressively learn your ship knowledge. You do that by fighting. I've got my Trincomalee up a little bit, but I've just bought a couple of Connies. I'm going to tootle about in Connies tonight. Here's the Trink. Now, you can fleet them, of course. If you kill AI, you win a PvE mark. If you kill PvP, you win PvP marks. If you win a port battle or take part in a port battle, don't know if you only get them for winning, you get some conquest marks. Not worked out how you get trading marks yet. You certainly don't get them for doing delivery missions, which I've done. Maybe for war materials, don't know. Not worked that out yet. So that's the main thing. Now, apparently the tow request is going to disappear. Apparently you can't teleport. Yeah, apparently the exit to friendly port is going to disappear. And they're even saying you're not going to be able to teleport between ports, you know, when you go to outposts and you choose teleport. They're even saying you're not going to be able to do that. So that'll be interesting. Now, the next big shock horror point. Oh, before we do that, before we get to shock horror, let's just talk about how you maintain your ship a little bit. So you don't buy repair kits. This is a bug, this health things. What you do is you get rig repairs, hull repairs, and planks. Now, 11 hull repairs. Now, I don't know if this scales per ship, but in my Trink, it consumed 11 hull repairs to do a repair ship. and that's what I did earlier on. So it was about 11 to repair ship. And interesting enough, you could repair your hull as many times as you wanted in battle with a 10-minute cooldown. And the same is true for your rig repairs. So if I was going out for a bit of a biffo, I might take this. This would give me about 7 repairs, 8 repairs each. And I can take some med kits. They will help me replenish crew. Let's just do that. I don't think there's a perk at the moment, like a doctor perk. I didn't notice. Maybe there is. I didn't notice if there is a doctor perk. So I could go out, and of course it eats up some of my hold weight, and I could take lots of hull repairs, lots of rigging repairs, lots of med kits, but it does eat my hull. In battle though, you can, if you took a fleet ship with you, you could store those on your fleet ship, tell your fleet ship to run away and just use it as a replenishment ship. If we come back to the Lagros, where I've got some ship knowledge, let me just see, is there a doctor thing? No, so there's not a doctor thing there. Maybe there is if you I don't know if you can level it up. So there is no doctor perk. I don't know if there's something you can make. I haven't found that yet. I did hear people talking about it in chat, which is why I was a bit confused. So with the points that you earn through fighting, you can go to the Admiralty store. Now this is very interesting. You can buy, first of all, you can exchange marks. So the different types of marks you get, the PvE marks. 10 of those will buy you a PvP mark. You can't reset your perks for free. You need to earn 100 PvE marks to create a perks reset note. And I simply don't know what a trading manifest is. Maybe there'll be recipes that use trading manifests. I don't know. I just don't know what one is. Now, you can buy the blueprint for an Essex, and you can buy the blueprint for a Bologna using the trading manifests. Wow, that's a lot. So 100 trading manifests. So there we go. If we go to Mark Exchange, I could exchange, if I earned 1,000 PvE marks, that would get me enough to buy the Bologna blueprint and the Essex blueprints. We'll come back to blueprints in a moment and crafting. The other thing we can do is we can buy silver coins, gold coins and copper coins using our marks. We can buy the old modules that you're more akin to seeing, hammocks, muskets and pistols, reinforced rudders, optimized rudders, all that sort of stuff, carpenter teams, boarding ladders. Now, I assume that you read this book and now it becomes a selectable perk. That's I'm assuming it's like learning a skill. These things are interesting. See these notched angles. Have a crack at these. Whoops, let's stay on a notched angle. So these things, oh, it's not going to tell you. They seem to be like really good Pello sights. And so you learn this new skill called notched angle, and it's like a 10% Pello sights from what I've seen kicking around. Anyway, lots of stuff to play in. This actually feels better, right? It's quite hard earning the marks at the moment, but that's because of a couple of bugs. But this actually feels better. Then there's the modules I've spoken about. Now I'm assuming because it's a bow figure, you can only put one on your ship. These are permanent, these things. We've done that. So you can actually buy a note to just get a ship. 100 PvP marks. 50 PvP marks, 25 PvP marks. Remembering you can exchange, you can earn PvP marks by killing players, but you can also earn them by exchanging your PvE marks. It's quite hard on the test server with 25 people to get any PvP. So the marks exchange really is, now some would say it's grinding. Oh, you're grinding, Jeheil. And you'd be right. So that's that. Now let's talk about crafting for a moment. So I'm only level 3 because on the test server we started again, and it's very interesting because you don't, I can't say, for example, make blocks or anything like that, because as a way of leveling up my XP, Your XP only levels up when you either do a delivery order, which is where I've got most of my points from, or you build a ship. But building a ship is extremely hard, and I'll tell you why shortly. So at the moment I can only build these ships here. I'm slowly trying to get the materials together to do so. The problem is, for building ships, if we come to the resources, so I'm at Ruatan, a reasonably well-known port, and we go to the shop, and we go to resources. That's it. That's all there is. Right, so anything with the word owned by, there's only fish meat at Ruatan, and you think, oh, that's just because Ruatan's stupid, Jeheil. Go to somewhere sensible. Okay, here's Port Morant. In a moment. Apparently this will be banned soon under Sharia naval action. Here's Port Morant, so let's go to the shop. Resources. Now again, forget anything that I've got owned. So there's absolutely no materials for sale. No pine, no oak, no hemp, no nothing. Right, and even in KPR, which for most of you, you would know, you can pretty much buy anything at KPR. What you'll see is there's bugger all in there. The only stuff that's in there is player posted items, because under the new Sharia law, let me just come over here and go to the shop and go to resources, and again you'll see here there's no resources. Coal, stone, block, that's because the players put them on. Hemp players put them on. Bermuda City is all the same player incidentally, and iron ore is the only stuff here. And that's a bit of a shock to the old system. The other thing that's interesting is that selling ships now is not a way of raising money. Breaking up ships is probably better than selling ships. Let me have a little look here. So if we come here to my beautiful constitution, if I was to sell it, have a crack at this. Have a crack. Come on in, spinner. 10 gold for a constitution. But if you go to the ships in the store, you'll see there the normal prices. So there's no money to be made anymore by capturing and selling ships. You're much better capturing a ship and breaking it up for those vital materials. So just to summarize a little bit there, resources now, the only resources in the game are those that we make and put on the market. No ports have any resources at them at all. There's trading resources. But they run down. So I'd been doing, let me just go to Santinilius here. I'd been doing a bit of trade in black ironwood as a way of making money. And you'll see there's only 38 left. There used to be about 600, but I think other people have cracked on to my money-making scam. In fact, I'm just going to buy a few more there so I can get another delivery mission in a bit later on. So this black ironwood, you buy it for 11,000. You can sell it at KPR for 30,000. But you can also do delivery orders where you'll make about equivalent of about 45,000. So that's very nice. So I'll just pick up some black ironwood there. If we go, is it? I can't remember which port it is that has the delivery. No, it might be Banaka, where I have to pick up the mission. This one's a good one as well, Madagascan Jewels. Let's take that one. Do that a bit later. Oh, you need to have a ship in the port. I'll come and pick that up later. So, as you can see, lots and lots of changes. No resources. The fleet's nice, being able to put stuff into the fleet. Now, that's what I needed to tell you. Bit of a trap for young players here. One of the things you must do if you're going to have a fleet, you can't just have a fleet, not under Sharia naval action. What you need to do is take a perk called Fleet Control. That will now let me have a fleet of one ship. But I want more than one ship. You can have up to 3 ships in your fleet. I want 2 ships in my fleet, so I've got Fleet Control 2. Which means I can have 2 fleets. But obviously it's very expensive to... I didn't realise this when I did it, incidentally. It's very expensive to respec when you need 100 PvE marks. If you kill a single trade ship, you'll get 3 or 2 PvE marks. I think if you were doing fleet missions, you could get a lot more, but like I say, fleet missions are broken at the moment, so don't do those. And although you can currently, in theory, tow ships on the test server, I'm reliably informed that'll disappear. Don't do it on the test server because they very rarely restart it, and it's the restart that causes your ship to be towed, so it'll just be trapped in limbo. Whoa, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, by the way, that's a really bad place for that button. Because you click on it to see what it is, and you're one click away from spending all your hard-earned. Yeah, so I think that's about it. You can earn, like I say, you can earn crafting XP either by making a ship or doing a delivery order. Even then you only get like 50 crafting XP, no matter how big the delivery order is or how far you travelled for it. So that's not going to level you up quickly. To craft a ship you need about 9 materials, but you can only have 5 buildings, so you're going to have to get the rest from the community. Of course, there's no community on the testbed, so it's very difficult for me to actually craft a ship. You can earn these marks, which are vital. I've only got 3 PvE marks at the moment. I've traded a few in, messing around with stuff. And these marks you can use to buy stuff to make things better, to buy modules and the likes. But these are quite hard to come by, or the PvP ones are hard to come by on the test server because there's no bugger on. In general, though, it'll be quite hard pushing up hostility. So I think what's going to happen is that nations are going to advance very slowly now, because you're going to have to sail all the way over to your port, and then you're going to, when you attack, the enemy's all going to have to sail there. It's going to take you ages to grind up hostility, because if there's no enemy PvE, players in the area, the only way you can generate the hostility is by killing millions of enemy AI ships. So I don't really know how we're going to get hostility going, because there's just not enough AI down there to make that happen. Anyway, we'll see. I'm a little worried about how you can generate hostility. I don't mind some of the comfort things that we've been used to taken away. I don't really mind that you can't tow a ship anymore, or teleport a ship, that you should sail it there. I think that'll cause the game to hub around a front line. You push out, you take somewhere, everybody moves their bases there, so it'll have this creeping front lines. But I don't really know how you're going to raise hostility with so few fleets around, apart from the occasional, mega crazy bonkers fleet. But we'll see. We'll see if there's a tweak made to hostility. I think not being able to move around your outposts and teleport is stupid. We just don't have the time in our lives to simulate actually sailing around the Caribbean. We do need a little bit of game in there to help us move around. So I would recommend, I'd recommend you have a go on the test server. Just now, in theory, it's only 2 days until they do the patch on the main server, but they've not confirmed that, and I'd be surprised. There's a lot of bugs on the test server, like the fleets don't work, like your ship can't go backwards at the moment, which makes turning through the wind in some of the crapper ships harder. I would recommend that you start off doing kill missions, probably with buddies, killing AI ships. If you manage to snag a PvP battle, good on you. Do that until you earn perhaps about 250,000 gold. Gold's really hard to come by. I did it as a trader, but it took me a long time to work out the good routes. I've actually made a list of any item that weighs less than a ton that appears in the delivery orders. That's very important, because the lighter the stuff, the more of it you can carry. Once you do get a bit of money together, you can make loads of money quite easily with the delivery missions. So there's delivery missions out there that will clear 250, 300,000 gold per run. You do run the risk of getting killed. So I don't know if any of you have played Elite Dangerous. If you have, the same credo appears to this as to that. Do not trade all your goods in one shipment, because if you do get attacked and sunk, you are left with nothing. And you can't do much with nothing. You'll be out in a basic cutter again. The sale of shame. So, it's a fatwa on Care Bears. And life is generally going to be much harder now in naval action. So just to summarise, very hard to move your ships around. It's all about the marks to get the sexy things. Remember in your perks that you need fleet to have extra ships. Just a word of warning, if you go out with 2 ships in your fleet and you capture a 3rd ship, so you capture a ship with your 2 ships, you're not going to be able to add that to your fleet. At the moment there's a bit of a bug where it'll do it, but throw away one of your fleet ships. You can steal all its cargo though, that's a nice thing. In the when you're assigning crew to a ship, you know, when you've captured a ship and you choose to assign crew, you can now look in their hold and pull the materials out of their hold and put them into your hold, so that's quite good. But if you capture a ship, you don't earn any marks. So you're doing one or two things. You're either killing to get the marks, and you're using the marks so that you can learn the additional skills or buy trinkets for your boat. If you capture, you're doing it for 2 reasons. 1, you're hoping there might be some sexy loot in the hull. And 2, you're going to take the ship home maybe and break it up for materials, because materials are so rare. You can't sell it, you don't make money from the ship. So it really is the money or the box. So you have to work out, are you going to kill, capture, earn money? You earn more money by killing than capturing unless you're lucky with the cargo, and some of the cargo can be naff, sometimes you can be very lucky. Once you've got some capital, I'd say once you've got about 200,000, I would look at doing a little bit of trading. Get yourself a gross venture, look for something light, the indigo type stuff, some of the coffees and things that you can do in a single shipment, and you'll find that the money snowballs. You do 2 missions, you can afford to do a bigger expensive mission, and then you can afford to do 2 lots of the bigger expensive mission, and then the money starts rolling in. Then you can plough that money back into buying better ships, so that then you can get better kills and the likes. That's kind of the circle of life. Resources are hard. It has become hardcore player only economy. Nowhere makes any sort of resources. If you've ever played on the fringes of being in a clan, let me tell you, get in a clan, because the only way you'll get regular shipbuilding happening is if you have a bunch of you coordinating. So one of you is getting pine and fir, the other's getting iron and coal, the other's getting a couple of types of metals and so on and so forth, so that between you can start knocking the ships out and leveling up your traders. And because shipbuilding is so much harder, you don't level up. You get all your blueprints for free now. They just drop, pop, 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 apart from the specials. The specials you need the marks for. But when you level up, bing, automatically you get access to the next set of ships. So there you go. That's it for this week's Easter edition of Naval Action. It is a time of miracles and resurrections. Is this the ingredients for naval action to cause a resurrection? We don't know. Let's find out. So give us a like, give us a subscribe. I will see you on the test bed, and I will catch you.